Next up, it's going to be the Victorian Nick Lundh, who will go in against Steve Douet in another interstate battle here. Tail of the tape is going to show you that Nick Lundh just has an edge in terms of the reach, and likewise in the height department. He's going to be a little taller than Steve Douet, who came in right on the junior middleweight level. And as you can see, Nick Lundh at 73.75 is well above the junior middleweight rankings in terms of weight. In fact, he's even above the middleweight. He's at junior light heavy. But he did take the fight at late notice, so we know he's not prepared exceptionally well for this battle, and that is going to work against him, because Steve Douet, the 26-year-old former kickboxing world champion, he has a lot of talent indeed. We've seen him already come up with some good victories, including knockout wins against Ron Jeffs and Stevie Douet earlier this year. Keeps himself busy. And Steve Douet, his trainer Vito Gordioso, make their way to centre ring here. And we're also going to be joined by Nick Lundh. An edge and experience for Steve Douet. Most recently in action in Queensland in July. He picked up a 4-round win against Darren Chapman. Prior to that, fought for the New South Wales state title at junior middleweight against Dean Glover. It's considered one of the best fights in New South Wales this year. It was a 10-round decision that went to Dean Glover. A lot of people at ringside thought that Steve Douet had won it, and so did he. But Dean Glover is the champ. And here comes Nick Lundh, this 30-year-old from Melbourne, and I'm sure all our viewers down south will be enjoying this next attraction. Just saw Murray Thompson there. And for our Melbourne viewers, I can tell you their next show down there with the Fighters Factory is going to be on November 24 at the Knox Netball Centre. Julian Holland will be there making against a Filipino opponent, and you can get your tickets. Just ring 9877-7344. The Fighters Factory, where Nick Lundh has been preparing, and Murray Thompson doing a good job. Almost set for a start here. Nick Lundh against Steve Douet coming up next.
In fact, after sharing a car from the hotel to the venue, it's time for these two men to get it on in centre ring. Once again, we're at junior middleweight, this time scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds. An interstate contest introducing first out of the red corner from Wollongong, New South Wales. Tonight weighing in at 69.5 kilos. 3 wins, 2 knockouts to his record. They call him the Bomber, Steve Douet. Tonight fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red with white piping. He hails from Victoria and weighed in heavier at 73.75 kilos. He has 1 win to his credit. He is Nick Lundh. Cyril Cairns once again, the third man inside the ring. Brad Vicali, Billy Mayles and Tony Rock, your judges at ringside.
I want a good clean fight, no rabbit punching, no kidney punching. I say break, step back and break clean. Defend yourself at all times, obey my command at all times. Shake hands, good luck to you both.
So final instructions from Cyril Cairns. Nick Lundh will come out of the blue corner. Final instructions from Murray Thompson there, and across the ring Steve Douet, this big punching prospect from New South Wales. So one former Australian kickboxing champion in Nick Lundh in the red and white. One former world kickboxing champion, Steve Douet, in the blue. Both have much more experience in kickboxing rather than orthodox boxing. But we like what we've seen of Steve Douet so far. And Nick Lundh, as I mentioned, has taken this fight at very short notice. And he's going to need to keep his hands up very high indeed, because we know Steve Douet does pack good power in both hands. Body shots, what Stevie Douet undone when they met back in April this year. Incidentally, Nick Lundh has also faced Stevie Douet in February this year, winning in the 4th round on a cut eye. Injured his right hand in the process, so I hope he's back to 100% fitness. Very watchful at the moment is Nick Lundh. A slight edge in height and reach in the red against Steve Douet.
I'd like to see Steve Douet keep his punches a little bit straighter. He tends to get that right hand, so throws a little wide.
Lundh has grown in confidence with each of his 3 professional bouts. Chopping right hand there from Douet over the top. He's kept himself very busy this year, Steve Douet, fighting in February, April, June and July. And this is the first pro boxing event post the Olympic Games. All the activities and directions were toward the amateur ranks. We're back. Big Time Boxing has put together a very good card here. Still to come, the undefeated Australian heavyweight champ Carly Meehan and Tosca Patrice and Paul Briggs will go at it, which is a very interesting lineup on paper. And Lovemore Nadu and Victor Paz, our feature event. So still a lot to look forward to. Getting very much a feeling out process here in round number 1 for these junior middleweights. It's scheduled for 6.
It's a very even round, opening round, John.
We give Nick Lundh a lot of credit for taking his fight at late notice against Douet, but likewise for Douet to be giving away some 4 kilos to his opponent just to make the fight happen as well. So credit to them both. And just with short professional careers behind them, victory here most important. Douet has only lost twice in 5 fights, and that was to the same man, Dean Glover, who he lost to on debut, and then, as I mentioned, when they fought for the state junior middleweight title in New South Wales. Nick Lundh is having just his 4th professional appearance. Very even opening stanza there. Bradford Carley, Billy Males and Tony Rock are our 3 judges at ringside here. Should they be required?
That spit bucket. You let him set up. Just keep the jab in his face. You're giving him too much time.
Yep.
Alright? You're doing alright. Keep jabbing his face. Watch that hook.
No.
Here's some of the better action from the opening rounds. I'm sure Nick Lundh, as Murray Thompson in his corner said, he was just a little tentative, letting Steve Douet set himself up. Because Douet's reputation does precede him. As we get underway round number 2, Nick Lundh from Victoria in the red and white. Steve Douet from New South Wales in the blue and white. 2 former kickboxers going at it. They look as though they're going to lift the tempo here. Shannon Taylor couldn't split them in the first round. Saw it likewise 10-10. Good defensive skills there from Douet as he slips the punch. Nick Lundh does carry his hands just a little low for my liking.
I just love to see Steve Douet keep his punches straighter, you know. I think we'll see Steve pick up the tempo and put pressure on his opponent.
There's a left hand from Douet finding the target. Nick Lundh's trying to keep him at bay. He's doing a good job with that jab. He does have a slight edge in reach, and it's been an effective counter for him. Douet actually knocked out Ron Jeffs in the second round of their battle earlier this year in February with a left hook. As I mentioned, it was the body shots that brought Stevie Willett undone. So
Good right hand.
Nick Lundh coming forward, doubling up the jab and then landing the right hand as well.
It was just a short little right hand off the left lead.
So Steve Douet not getting things his own way here against Nick Lundh.
I'd like to see Steve put more pressure on. Usually he puts more pressure on his opponents. He's actually trying to box. There's that, like you can see that right hand coming a mile. There's plenty of power in it, but you know, he hasn't landed it yet. When you get him with the experienced fighters, John, they're going to see that right hand coming from a mile.
Yes, at the moment, Nick Lundh's tactically boxing a smarter fight here. Douet has an edge in power, so it's important for him to try and rack up some points with his jab, and that's what he's done effectively, just shooting out the jab to keep Douet off balance and not let him get set.
He's an awkward customer, Nick Lundh.
Digging to the body now, Douet, showing his evidence of the power that he has.
Well, that's where he needs to go. His opponent's been sitting in the sauna for most of the morning, so I was Steve Douet, that's where I'd be attacking my opponent.
Final 30 seconds, round number 2 for these junior middleweights. At the moment, Steve Douet has been the aggressor here in the blue. Nick Lundh is holding his own at the moment. May have landed the best punch of the fight with that short right hand. Certainly an edge in power is with Steve Douet, particularly when you hear him working away to the rib cage. Trying to come forward there, a nice jab from Nick Lundh. He read his mind and picked him off coming in, so good round there for Nick Lundh from Victoria. He'll sit down in the red corner. I'm sure his trainer, Murray Thompson, will be happy with the preceding 3 minutes.
Big deep breaths. You ready to listen? Now listen, you're waiting too long. You're waiting too long in between jabs. All right, get him on that jab. Now, we talked about the left rip, left hook. You're trying to bomb off that right hand all day. Now, don't let him circle you. Cut the ring off. Go across with him, mate. You walk straight in the left hooks all day. Oh, but I want you to work off that jab. You don't cut the ring off of that jab, he'll just run away from you all day. Get in range with that jab, then work the left rip, left hook. Take your time, but you've got to keep that distance. If you get too far away from you, he'll run away from you all day. Right now, his hands are starting to come down. You can see him starting to come down. Don't go for the bomb. Stay focused. But you've got to keep the memento going, brother. Let's listen to me, mate. All right, go out there and do it. Box on.
Junior middleweight division. This is round number 3 for Nick Lundh in the red and white and Steve Douet in the blue and white. Shannon Taylor has it locked at 20 apiece. So I just edged around in the direction of Nick Lundh there in round number 2. I thought his punching was just a little more accurate. Certainly not a great deal separating these two at the moment. Still both trying to build their professional careers, having spent time as kickboxers in the past. We have seen in his previous fights, Steve Douet, that he does take some time to warm up. So you'd expect that he's going to lift the tempo here. He has a willing combatant here in Nick Lundh, who's growing in confidence himself. Nick Lundh has used his edge in reach to good advantage here. Each time Douet tries to work inside, Nick Lundh's there to fire out the jab. Left hook from Douet. Scoring punch.
Douet needs to put the pressure on his opponent and keep it on. That's when he's more effective. He's trying to outbox a guy with a much bigger reach than himself.
Now both men opening up. Douet getting the better of that exchange. Again, Nick Lundh just able to keep him at bay with the jab. Has good reach and uses it effectively. Douet does work inside it, and that's where he does his best work, when he can.
Douet's getting caught with the left jab on the way in. I think he should listen to his corner and take away the power and work off the jab. And circle his man onto the left hook.
Nick Lundh opens up, but he got caught with that left hand again.
There's Steve Douet with those haymakers again. Wild punches. He's really got to throw them away. He's got to get them out of his boxing.
Nice jab again, Nick Lundh.
Sparred many rounds with Steve Douet, and he's certainly very strong.
Just hasn't been able to get anything going here, because Nick Lundh has just been able to use that edge in reach to good advantage.
Well, as his corner said, get rid of the bombs. He's trying to bomb his opponent out. You know, he's got to work off the jab and cut his opponent off and bring him onto the punches. But he's just trying to take him out one punch. Yeah, 6 rounds to be up all of a sudden, and you haven't landed one. So
end of round number 3, halfway stage of this battle. And at the moment, Nick Lundh, who took the fight on very short notice, coming out of the blue corner. He's doing okay against Steve Douet. Not a lot between them. I'm sure it's going to be a difficult one for our judges, Brad Vicali, Billy Males and Tony Rock, to score. is, in fact, if they are required. Because we know that Douet has good punching power. He has 2 knockouts to his credit already.
I don't want you to step back. Stick your head down. Huddle up if he tries to. Don't pull back with your head up. Come on, Nick. Halfway there.
Yep.
You've got to double that jab up and put the right hand. Come on, you're doing well. Open up finger threes and fours.
Some of the better action from round number 3. The heavier shots were landed by Steve Douet, but more accurate punching came from Nick Lundh. So it's a difficult one to score. Round number 4 gets underway for these junior middleweights. And Nick Lundh, the Victorian, the red and white, working against Steve Douet. As yet, Shannon Taylor finding it difficult to split them.
Good left hook for Steve Douet. Good friend of myself and Steve Douet. He's done many rounds of both of us. Enjoying this fight at home, Brett Harriet.
Well, Nick Lundh has just been able to back up Steve Douet in terms of not giving him any rhythm or any momentum to build.
I can't understand why he's boxing from such a distance. You know, he should be getting close and working inside on his man. I spoke to Steve before the fight, and he said that his opponent had been sitting in this sauna for most of the morning, so to my likings, I like Steve to get up there and bang the body and stay up on his opponent, put pressure on him, take away his energy. Just can't understand why he's opted to stay out and try and box a man with longer reach than himself.
Yeah, he's playing into Nick Lund's hands at the moment. And full credit to Nick Lundh, as he and Murray Thompson have put together what so far is a winning game plan for them, at least on my scorecard.
Well, he's only given Lundh confidence. You know, he's growing in confidence. You can see it in his eyes as we go into round 4.
He's certainly been more aggressive in terms of coming forward, Nick Lundh, in rounds 3 and again here in round number 4. Steve Douet talked about him being a slow starter. Maybe he's going to be saving his petrol for the last couple of rounds, because he certainly hasn't been working tremendously hard through these first 3 and a bit rounds.
Good right hand.
Good right hand there from Douet. But Nick Lundh still coming forward and firing artillery of his own.
You can see Steve, he's certainly trying to take his opponent out one punch. You can see he's looking for it. He's not using his left jab.
Just been unable to work inside the reach advantage that Nick Lundh has used a good advantage here. Final 30 seconds, round number 4. And still Steve Douet finding Nick Lundh a handful at the moment in terms of trying to work in close and be able to use his edge in power. And again, Nick Lundh giving him no peace, not scoring there with the jab, but just keeping his opponent at bay, not letting him get set, continually making him think about what's going to happen next. This is a very even fight so far. Let's see if we can listen in the red corner with Vito Gordioso and Steve Douet.
Legs out, big deep breaths. Now look at me, you're not breathing, you're not working hard enough, Steve. 4 rounds I've been telling you what I want, you're not doing it. You've got to dominate this fight. You can't let him get you on the back foot. You bludged that round, you've got 2 rounds to go. It's a close fight, mate. Please, get up on him. Use the jab, go to work. Don't stop at 2 punches. Get on him, left hook, right hand, get back on him. You've got to close that gap, please. You're letting it run away now, mate. Right? And you just bludge him, brother. Go to work, please. I don't want you bobbing. I don't want you bombing. Stay focused, jab, left rip, left hooks. Then go into your right hand.
6 minutes, mate.
6 minutes, mate. Don't let this run away.
Vito Gordioso, the trainer of Steve Douet, won an Australian middleweight title himself. He wants some more action from the man in the blue and white. Nick Lundh is his opponent in the red and white. Douet winning the last round on Shannon Taylor's card to be 1 point ahead. I have Nick Lundh leading by a single point at the moment. It's been a very even fight.
Yeah, it has. It's as we heard from Douet's corner, like, he doesn't want him bombing. He wants him to put pressure on by boxing. He's come out and thrown a big right hand. He's certainly not listening to his corner tonight, Steve.
He just hasn't appeared to be right into this fight. Even between rounds, sitting in the corner, he's looked a little disinterested. We'll credit Nick Lundh with giving him some problems in terms of frustrating him, just poking out that jab and keeping him far enough away. And really hasn't allowed Steve Douet to land some of the power shots that we're expecting from him. Perhaps the two best punches of the fight. There's a nice left hook from Douet. Two best punches so far have been landed by Steve Douet. But Nick Lundh just hasn't given him any momentum to build.
It's so easy to read Steve Douet's fight tonight. All he wants to go is a right hook or a left hook. He's not trying to use the left jab, straight right, left rips, or any of the combinations that his corner asked from him. All he wants to do is big left hooks and big right hooks. There they are again. And Lundh is just sticking the jab out, picking up the points, and pulling back from the wild hooks.
And just feeding out the jab again.
There it is again. There's the wild punch. Then there's the left jab, just picking up the points, and it's going to steal the fight if Douet doesn't put some pressure on.
Certainly has good power, Douet, and each time
just made a nice jab.
Nick Lundh retreats. He does so with his head up pretty high, so it is a target for Steve Douet. But Nick Lundh is doing a very good job at the moment as we count down the last 60 seconds here, round number 5 for these junior middleweights. And there is Steve Douet again trying to load up his shots.
Steve Douet, this has been the best round for Nick Lundh. He scored with the left jab and he's scored the right hand a couple of times.
So tactically not a good fight here from Steve Douet. Nick Lundh is...
See, there it is again. The big hook, and he's getting caught with the jab. And there it is again. Left jab. There's not much in the left jab. It's just touching, but it's scoring points.
Yes, full credit to Nick Lundh and his corner, Murray Thompson. Puts the polish on him. Clash of heads there as well. I think Nick Lundh, the worst of it. But he certainly had the better of here in round number 5. And it's going to present a major problem for Steve Douet because he's really going to have to lift proceedings in the 6th and final round if he's to win the fight. Nick Lundh is feeding out the jab and building up the points here. Certainly I have him ahead going into the last round. Good round number 5 there for Nick Lundh.
You're on it, Judge. You put a few left hooks right hands in. Okay, you got to start pushing it back. Okay. And you got to finish strong. Yep. Much stronger. Yeah, no worries. Nick, we're in Sydney. We're in our own. We're in Queensland, actually. Go on. You've got to make sure you got this one. You might be a touch behind.
Okay.
Well, Murray Thompson with Nick Lundh there, suggesting maybe they're a touch behind. It's a very difficult fight to judge, to score. And certainly there in round number 5, Nick Lundh, well, he landed the jab numerous occasions. Steve Douet landed perhaps the heavier shots. I had a favourite Nick Lundh and have him leading by a couple of points going into the 6th and final round. These junior middleweights, Nick Lundh in the red and white, Steve Douet in the blue and white. Shannon Taylor has them 49 apiece. I have 49-47, Nick Lundh. But as I mentioned, Brad Vicali, Billy Miles and Tony Rocker, our 3 judges at ringside.
There's those haymakers again, John. They're coming from a country mile.
Against an opponent with Nick Lundh's experience, as I mentioned, he's a former Australian kickboxing champion at the middleweight level. So even though this is only his 4th professional fight, Nick Lundh does have a good history and pedigree in terms of kickboxing. He's just boxed a smarter fight here against Steve Douet. Shannon Taylor has told you, has been keen just to try and load up with the big shots and not any combination work at all coming from him. Just one punch stuff.
Steve Douet just ran into a short left hook. It's all come on. He's only getting hit because he's throwing these wild punches. There it is again.
Hopping right hand from Douet. Was partially deflected. Now Nick Lundh backed up once more. He's He's getting a little more active here in this 6th and final round, Steve Douet, but as you heard his trainer, Vito Gordios, the time he'd been bludgeoning in earlier rounds. We've certainly seen him work a lot harder in his fights, even though he does tend to start slowly. Just hasn't been able to pick up the tempo with any great authority here against Nick Lundh. Let's credit the Victorian for that, because he's just kept that left hand in his face. Hasn't hit him with any big shots.
Really, I'd like to see Steve Douet just take those punches and take them away and throw him away from his boxing. Certainly, they're not going to work. I've never really seen Steve throw him that wild before.
Final 60 seconds here.
Certainly not his corner telling him to do it.
Good jab again from Nick Lundh. Might be the difference between the result here. That jab of Nick Lundh has racked up a lot of points, and Steve Douet loading up trying for power shots. I don't know if he's hit his opponent with the same consistency. And there's Nick Lundh again, just doubling up. And as Shannon Taylor's told you, not a lot on the jab, but scoring punch, and certainly it's been worrying Steve Douet throughout the fight.
On my scorecard, whoever wins this round is going to win the fight, and Steve Douet is certainly not winning the round.
He's starting to get a little busier now, but he's left his run very late indeed, Steve Douet.
They're bad punches. I've never seen Steve Douet throw punches like that.
And that's it, 6th and final round. And the judges are going to be required here. And the fight that on paper Steve Douet started favourite in. I have him trailing by 3. That was a good performance from Nick Lundh to take this fight on short notice and come here and be so competitive. He really did box clever there. Credit to Murray Thompson and the Fighters Factory for putting the polish on him. It was a smart 6 rounds from Nick Lundh, and the same can't be said for Steve Douet. Just couldn't get any rhythm going. Nick Lundh looks confident. Thinks he might have done enough to win. I have him ahead. But Brad Vicali, Billy Miles and Tony Rock are the 3 scores who matter most. Steve Douet, well, not his best performance that we've seen from him here on Fox Sports, but still very early in his professional career, and I'm sure he's going to learn from the experience there against Nick Lundh. Official tabulation is being looked at the moment. Draw wouldn't surprise. And as I mentioned, I have Nick Lundh getting over the top of that man there, Steve Douet.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecard for the first time tonight. We have a unanimous points decision. Judge Billy Mail scores the bout 58-57. Judge Brad Vicali 58-56. And Judge Tony Rock 58-57. Your winner from the blue corner, Nick Lundh.
Well, he's done enough to win it here. Nick Lundh, I had him winning a little bit more, like 3 points, but 50-57 twice and 58-56 for Brad Vicali. So 2 one-point margins and a 2-point margin in favour of Nick Lundh.
Well, I had a 1 point to Lundh.